So what do you think about the self-image part of like the whole time she's also the fact that she, ties everything with Daniel, but at the same time she also really wants to be thin and kind of chases through that ideal at that time.
I feel like, sorry. I feel like, I feel like this chasing of the self-image is another way of her not seeing that she needs to accept herself as she is in order to move forward. Because I know I've always tried to lose weight, and something that happens is like you don't want to buy clothes because you're going to wait to buy clothes until you're at the weight where you're happiest. But the problem is like, well, no, the only way you're actually going to like lose weight and feel confident and make better choices for yourself is if you love yourself as you are now. And you need to give yourself the clothing that you want to wear. Like you can't wait for this number. You know what I mean?
She says that's the thing that attracted her to Mark. It's one thing that really like stood out to her when Mark says, just the way you are.
Exactly.
Just are, right? So that's
just the way you are.
Just the way you are.
And it's just like, oh my God, I want that.
In fact, perhaps despite appearances, I like you very much.
Apart from the smoking and the drinking and the vulgar mother and the verbal diarrhea.
No, I like you very much, just as you are.
Love me. Daddy Darcy.
Daddy Darcy. Do you think, well, I think at the same time, now today we're all kind of chasing like, it's a different image ideal, right? Would you say that your friends were saying that it was fat shaming in the movie?
Yeah, I think it was more fat-phobia, but I'm not sure which scenes they were talking about because I think I'm not sure if they meant like the fact that I don't think they meant the fact that she wants to lose weight. Maybe it's some of the comments where she's calling people like fat and different things like that, or like that there's this like disdain for fat people in the movie. I'm not sure.
Oh, wasn't there's like an image, she collaged her face on top of like skinny people.
Oh yes, I do remember that.
I was like, what?
Because I remember my dad telling me to do something like that, like put the ideal images of models that you like to have like an ideal goal for your body. Because he told me I looked plus size, and I was like, that was the worst thing I could have ever heard at like 15. You know what I mean? And I was just like, and then anyway, but that feeling of like needing to be a specific size to accept yourself, I do see that as her running away from just loving herself as she is.
And I want to say that it's not that it's irrelevant today. It's still relevant because we might not be chasing the same idea of perfection for a female body, but it's still the same, right? You have to have, now you want to look like the Kardashians. Now you want to, maybe the skinny
look like Emma Chamberlain or Charlie D'Amelio or those people.
Like if you're skinnier, you still strive for something, like, and it's all plastered on social media these days.
And I think the problem with today's self-image is a lot of it is editing and plastic surgery and angles, and it was the same ish back then, but now I think when that movie came out and the models that were coming out, it was only models that look like that. You know what I mean? Like you go into a fashion magazine and that's who looks like that. But now today it's everyone on Instagram who looks like perfect. And I think that has a different bearing on us just because it's like, okay, so it's possible for me to look like that with surgery, with editing, with this, with that. You know what I mean?
You know, I think one thing I kind of remarked too is that like Bridget Jones' highlights are like never perfect in the movie. Like, and Mark Darcy and Daniel, they're not like perfect looking either. Like, I just find it funny in the 90s, like they were already like good looking people. Like they're fine, whatever. But like nowadays, when you look at like a Netflix, like a teen romance, like what is it? All the Boys I've Loved, or all of these, they actually look perfect.
But I think that's the problem too. It's like they don't even allow people to look like, even the quirky person has to look perfect.
Yeah,
like,
they look perfectly quirky.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't believe this. I mean, Noah Centineo can be perfect in my eyes all the time, every day. But I think I think the problem is like, are people not marketable if they're not perfect looking? Do you know what I mean? Because even when you look at like movies like Pride and Prejudice or anything before 2005, you find that people actually look real. Like the lighting is very natural. You can kind of almost see hair on people's faces. You know what I mean? Like people's teeth aren't like pristine and like cut perfectly. So
like perfectly white and like
exactly.
The thing is, it's also like I think British movies or like European movies, it's people are not that perfect looking. Like in like TV dramas, I like the fact that they're like they kind of look like normal people. Like
and like
versus
you see
American movies, it's like the best friends is also perfect, which I also don't understand. It's like why is the best friend also perfect but she never gets anything?
But I don't know if you ever watched the American version of Skins versus the UK version, but when you saw like you could see the disparity in how the teenagers looked, the way that they were models in the American one, and it was just you see the very stark differences in the way that we perceive our like actors, and I think that falls into how people our age and younger kind of feel like they need to be perfect in order to even post a picture. Like the angle has to hit, like there's no question about it. Like take thousands of selfies and get that one perfect photo, which sucks.
I mean, it sucks, but we still do it.
I try to limit it to like 20 photos before I start feeling a little too narcissistic,
For me, I'm just like, if I take it and if I actually want to post it, I'm like, I already obviously I've accepted the fact that I'm gonna Photoshop it. And if you are somebody that follows me, you better know it.
I've never Facetuned any of my pictures.
I wouldn't say Facetune, maybe just like at least everything like looking presentable because it's presentations, visual presentation, and I'm a designer, so I have to make it perfect. Anyway, Bridget's mom, the one that started off kind of like supposedly having everything together as like a mom and that retirement age, she kind of falls to the same circle as Bridget.
Yeah. And the funny thing is she's a lot closer to her dad, who seems a bit more content with the lifestyle, but it's both Bridget and the mom that are chasing this perfection, this ideal of where they should be. And I think that's interesting because usually you think of like the husband being the one to go through the midlife crisis, but Bridget has like her mid-30s crisis and the mom has her retirement age crisis.
That's true. I didn't think about that because nowadays it's so kind of middle-aged women also go through like a lot of stuff, but I think back then maybe it was like something pretty new to like show that. And she was so proud of her like new man toy. He's not even like a man boyfriend.
Yeah, but the thing that I thought was weird, it's like how can you're not even separated and you're kind of going and sleeping with another guy and then you cut like I'd be like excuse me? No.
Yeah, and he like she brings him to like all the family gatherings.
Have you spoken to my dad?
Yes. He's behaving most bizarrely. I think he was actually trying to flirt with Penny Husband's Bosworth, poor thing.
And the dad is there, poor guy.
It's so sad. And like they said, I don't know if this is relevant, but they said something about like Bridget having siblings or something like that. Like that the mom had kids.
Oh, we never saw any of them.
I'm your child too. I don't know. I just thought that was like an interesting plot hole. Maybe there was something else that was supposed to pop up. I don't know. But I felt like Bridget was trying to run away from being her mom in a certain sense. Kind of steadily being with someone.
Like being with somebody so early, or what do you mean?
Being with someone who like makes her feel alive. She doesn't want to end up like her mom, feel like she had kids and she didn't live her life fully and different things like that. Because she's very hesitant to listen to her mom when the mom is talking about the problems that she has.
I just find her character really funny, and I love one of the scenes is, what is it called? Tarts and bishops? Is it
Vickers
and tarts? I was like, I didn't even know what tarts are. Apparently, tarts means
like a
prostitutes.
prostitute. Yeah,
that was a hilarious scene. Vickers. Imagine you had that for like a family reunion party.
But that's what they did, and I think that's what I find so funny about this movie. It's like they push everything to like the most extreme, because it's just, who has a party like that? You know what I mean? And I find that such dry British humor, because that's something you would see in like a Monty Python sketch or something like that.
And like the ant, and like one of the ants at the end also like running away. She's dressed like a whore.
Looks like Auntie Shirley didn't get the message either.
Let's say if Bridget matched with Daniel, like she decides to stick with Daniel at the end, like she didn't reject him. What do you think that would have been like for her?
I don't think she would have been happy. I think she would have constantly thought about like, what if with Mark, and I feel like she would constantly question her choices and her motives of why she was with Daniel, especially after he cheated on her. I think that would be on her mind consistently.
I just thought that they were like not compatible at all, because she really wanted attention, and he's like kind of like an egomaniac, no? Because he needs women to want him. And then, but the problem is Bridget is such a little bit like she's not wounded, but she's like flawed character, that she can't just be that perfect angel for him, because he kept saying like, I need you, Bridget, I need you, like if it wasn't going to be you, it couldn't be anybody or something. But he just all talk with like really shitty actions.
And I feel like that last scene where he's kind of like opening up his heart to her, you could kind of see like maybe he does love her, but at the same, I just felt that he kind of had this feeling of like, okay, I had her, now there's a chase again, I want her back. You know what I mean? It was more about the chase than that fact that he actually loved her.
True. Yeah, so they were not compatible. She would always be like the second, like in the relationship, I would feel like they would always be him in the first place, and then she would always be kind of like catching up to him, reassuring him, being like comforting him, or like not it. So Mark.
Oh, Mark. I love Colin Firth. Anyway, Colin Firth is just so
Do you think that, hold on, do you think that they would be a good long-term couple? Let's say we didn't know like about their sequels. I don't even know what happened.
Sequels? What? Sequels? I don't know.
Do you think that they would play the long game, like after the final kiss?
Well, I'm kind of biased because I know about the second movie, but
tell us about the second movie. What is it?
Okay, second movie, it's basically Bridget kind of falling into the same sort of self-consciousness that she experienced in the first movie, and that really affects her relationship with Darcy, because she's constantly questioning whether he actually likes her. Is he going to cheat on her? Should she be with Daniel? Different things like that, because Daniel comes back and they fight again. But when you watch the second movie, you kind of question whether or not they really work together because of so many problems.
Is it mostly in her head, or does she create it, or does he also play a lot of it?
She creates the problems, from what I remember, because I only watched it once because it was too cringy. But from what I remember, she creates a lot of the problems and the awkward situations because she just can't like let him love her. You know what I mean? Or like trust him. So, and
I trust the fact that she's good enough to have to be loved,
to have him,
I guess?
to be loved by him. And I think the main problem is that if she doesn't change her mindset about the relationship, the way she is in relationships, her relationships are always going to fail, no matter who it is, because you have to have that sense of self and confidence to feel like you deserve to be loved.
Damn, that's some like Dr. Phil Oprah stuff over here. Yeah, we know.
Call me Dr. V.
Dr. V. But does she actually get back together with Mark in the second one? Like they figure it out at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I think so. From what I remember, they end up getting married or close to married.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to like fact check.
Watch it.
We're gonna have to, no. Let's watch some other rom-coms and we'll see if we want to get there. I don't know because why is it in the third one is she single? In the Bridget Jones' Diary one, or does it? Did you watch Bridget Jones' Baby? Oh no! Now we're gonna have to watch all of it and then talk about it. Anyways, but I think her and Mark together, I don't know. Mark is also kind of like this rare guy that probably does not exist. You know what I mean? He's like a fantasy.
What do you mean?
Like, he's also really perfect in some. Okay, I'm trying to think. His imperfections, according to her, were that he says the wrong thing at the wrong time, and
lets his mother dress him in stupid stuff.
I mean,
like he's a mama's boy.
Okay,
but it's cute.
But exactly. So he's like perfect in some ways. I'm trying to think what's a flaw about him that he's like that. And he's still tall and handsome and articulate and like has a great job and like puts her first.
But he's a little.
He knows how to joke. He's a little bit. I would say he takes maybe a longer for him to articulate his.
And he's arrogant. Like he thinks very highly of himself, which is kind of a problem.
But it's funny that he lets his shield down enough to like accept her because she's so opposite of what he is, because of what he is, and because at the same time he had a girl, his partner, that really wanted him, and which is kind of like the mirror version of him, right? Like the girl that was always put together.
Yeah.
My God.
You're really fighting for Darcy here, huh?
Darcy. Anyways, let's just hope I find a Mark too. Where are you?
You'll find Mark somewhere. Maybe it'll be Colin Firth.
How old is he now? Does he have a son? Call me. Final rating. How would you rate this movie?
You go first. I would rate it as a good like Friday night binge eating chick flick. You know, like where you order pizza, you have ice cream, you have popcorn, you have candy, and you just like vegging out with your friends. Like it's one of those movies in a lineup that you don't have to think too much about. You kind of just laugh at the laughing points, and you don't. Yeah. The movie ends, and that's it.
True. I would say you watch it. It's like a pretty good chick flick, but if you're very sensitive and you're maybe take things the wrong way, because it marks itself as like a 90s movie, right? It has, you know, like if you're sensitive to,
it has problematic stuff that's like problematic today.
Yeah, if you're sensitive to that thing, maybe reconsider it. However, you'll still get a good laugh, and maybe you have to appreciate it for what it is at that time, and then kind of understand where we've come from. But you know, not definitely ignore. Just like you can't just say it didn't happen in history. It's not a thing. It's still relevant. And today. A lot of the problems.
I don't think this movie could be made today in the same way.
Yeah, because the men would have to be more, we were talking about this, more insidiously perverted.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot less like, what's the word? Direct.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because Daniel was like very direct. But nowadays, you know, like you open your app and you see, you don't want to see what you want. You know what I mean? The dong pics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, watch it. It's really good. Thank you guys for listening to us.
Like and subscribe, follow, comment.
Yes.
Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right.
Yeah. What do you guys want us to watch next time? And do you want us to recommend more chick flick movies or maybe like date movies? Happy Valentine's Day in advance for the for the single ladies, watch this. For the couples, and if you actually like the guy, watch this. If you don't like the guy, Netflix and chills, don't watch this. That's the rating system. Right.
Wait, we didn't do our.
Oh.
Wait.
Is
Ready?
that a thing now? One.
We can.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. We keep missing
In
it.
my head.
We're gonna have to get better at this. I don't know.
Okay, next time.
Next time. Oh yeah, we didn't do it in the beginning. Ah.
I know. It's okay.
Ah. Messed
Okay.
it up. Okay, I'll stop recording.